Hello guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I will be making a top 10 of cards I want to see off the ban list. But more importantly, more controversial picks. Because there's a lot of easy picks we can go for on the ban list. Like, oh, this card would do nothing, this card would do nothing, this card would do nothing. There's many of those on the ban list, and many that, are just stupid if you were to take off. But I'll be going over my picks, so in my opinion, so there will be bias, of course. Cards that some people will be like, I'm not sure about that, but I think would be fine. And I'll be telling my numbers because some are banned, some are limited. Yeah, some are limited too, so you can play them at 1, but I'm going to say they can come to 3. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy the video. So I'm going to have a little bit of an honorable mention spot, just because there's a few cards that I want to put in, but don't want to put over top 10, and some are kind of stupid. So my first one is going to be Substitute. I know it has had FTKs like right when it released and stuff, and the card is ridiculous, but that is a time when the game was very slow. Now, I think it's still completely viable, that FTK. Like, you can still do it, but it's like the consistency wise is going to be down. Like before, you didn't have to have as much consistency. Back in old Yu-Gi-Oh, you can have a few turns to stall out, but in this case it's like you don't have that many time. Like, you have 2 turns usually. You have maybe your first turn, and then you have the turn to OTK, or otherwise your opponent's probably going to OTK you. That's kind of how the game is kind of been to, and I don't think the format can slow down to a point where Substitute would become a viable FTK. Still, it would be a very powerful card nonetheless. So only to 1, of course, and this is kind of like a dipping your toes in the water type of card. I'm not saying make sure you just put it off and never put it straight back on, because it could be a mistake to bring Substitute back. But I like the stuff where they just test the waters a bit, try it one format, and then take it back. Like Snatch Seal was a very good example. They realized, hey, we shouldn't have this in the game. They took it back when they realized, hey, that's actually a problem. We thought it'd be good. Like, they need to have more of that in the game, so we can have more cards kind of off the list to have a more varied pool. So Substitute is first on mention. Second one is, of course, our boy Maxi. I'm one of the people who thought Maxi can go to 3, but I'm not going to mourn Maxi's loss that much. Right now, I don't feel a desperate need for Maxi. The combo decks are not extremely crazy, but like in Goki format, it's like, just let me draw my cards. Let me draw so many cards. But of course, it's banned. I am not a crazy, oh my god, we must have it to 3 on every list. But if it went to 3, I'm definitely the person who wouldn't be mad at it. So that's it for the honorable mentions. On to number 10. So for my number 10 choice, it's kind of a group of cards. It is first, the Monarchs. So I think if they bring them back now, Monarchs are not going to be broken. They will just be viable. They will be a solid rogue deck. That's about it. Of course, I'm not too fond of Monarchs, but a lot of people are. It was a very cheap strategy to play, kind of like Salamangreats pick up the structure decks play, so a lot of people found time to play it and then started to really fall in love with the strategy. So many people would want to see Pantheism and Aether come off the list, and I feel it would be perfectly fine if they did. Don't think I have too much to explain because I wasn't really there in the format to know exactly all the power stuff, but modern day, it may have a little bit too many floodgatey cards that we may not like, so it could become a true Jacobs, which We don't need another True Dracos, but I think it'd be fine if they come off the list. On to number 9. So number 9 is going to be Danglong the First Yang Zing. I am not fond of dinosaurs either, just like monarchs, but my theory is, right, get it off the list now. I don't think dinosaurs will be broken. They're not going to spring up in the meta just with that card released. They're going to be kind of the same as they were. They're not going to crazily advance. And I feel once a strategy stops getting stuff off the ban list, stops getting like love in kind of support, they'll kind of fade away. For example, ABCs, I used to see them a lot at regionals, at least one every regional. Then again, I was kind of flunking at every regional, so it's probably why. Still, now I look and there's like no ABC players out there, even though the deck has just as strong a strategy as it needs. It has a back to 3, and it kind of just faded away. I think it'll happen with dinosaurs. Like, there's still players waiting for Danglong to come off the list, and once it comes off the list, and people are like, oh, the strategy still sucks, more people won't try and jump ship onto it, and few will slowly, who are on the ship, just slowly start to go off, and dinosaurs won't be seen. I kind of do not like seeing dinosaurs. I've seen it for a long time. Ultimate Conductor is annoying when you're like, can I summon a monster? It's like, nope, face down, have fun. So I don't like the strategy. I think give them this and they'll slowly fade away as the strategy just never grows in power. That's my number 9 pick. On to number 8. So for number 8, a card which I think a lot of people are now looking at and are like, just give it off. Like, we don't need it on as limited, is going to be El Shaddoll Construct. So, of course, they're getting the structure deck. They won. Thank God Sacred Beast didn't win the structure deck. Of course, I had a few things that I wanted to win more than Shaddolls, but Shaddolls is fine. It's like, it ain't Sacred Beasts, so I feel comfort there. Again, I wanted to see something that could actually go into the metagame and actually do something. Shaddolls is one of those decks, so fair enough. Also kind of wanted to see Dark Lords and Prophecy, but that was B. They didn't even get close to winning. Burning Abyss, don't know if they released new cards, but that's really cool if they release new cards. Us TCG players really like it, but of course it was more over an OCG land where they would have more of a preference, because I think if it was Europe exclusive, Burning Abyss wins immediately. But El Shaddoll Construct, it can come to 3. It's not overpowered. It has the best Shaddoll ability, like in the archetype. Removes a monster, pretty nice when battling, and also has the ability to kind of combo with your Shaddolls, which is honestly what they care for most. And only having one of it kind of sucked. Having it at 3 is going to be way better for them. So just why not give it off? There's no reason not to. But on to number 7. So number 7 is going to be something that is definitely a very split opinion. And it is going to be that grass looks greener. So this card, very, very powerful. But back when it was powerful, Ash was a very, very expensive card. But now it's $10. You could have got it in a structure deck if, it was on shelves. I know some people weren't able to find the Salamangreats structure deck. My locals stocked up on so many structure decks, so we were all good. We had our Ash Blossoms. So almost everyone has a Ash Blossom at this point. Well, the playset of Ash Blossoms. So this card can, be negated. So giving it back to 1, I think would be perfectly fine. Because, they can just Ash it, say, no, you're not going to dump cards from your deck. We're not having that. And also, it brings build decks back into the format. Snow is not a card. They can't even snow anymore. That's a really good reason why grass can come back. There's not too many crazy things that can happen. It could bring Light Sworns back, which honestly is a good thing. Light Sworns aren't going to be like crazy. They are going to be a nice, cool rogue deck if they come back. And I think a lot of those players who want to play mill decks will be happy to jump onto that. So it just gives variety in the format because we don't really have a crazy mill deck. So yeah, I think that grass can come back to the format at 1 perfectly fine. But on to number 6. So, I think what a lot of people could expect in every one of these videos is a talk about the Dragon Rulers. Some people say, keep a ban. Some people say, let them all back. I have very specific reasons for each one of them. So certain ones can come completely off, certain ones can go to 1, and one of them can stay banned. That may sound crazy, but there is a little effect in each of them that is honestly quite powerful depending on them. Where they have effect where they can discard themselves and one of their attribute to activate one of these effects. I think the least broken one, because the rest of the effects I don't think would be a problem in this format. Like, I'm not going to explain that. The least broken one is to pop a card. That is good old Blaster, the fire one. So I think that one can come back to 3. I don't think popping a card is that powerful. The summon effect's perfectly fine, you know. Like the adding of fire, it's perfectly fine. The rest of the card, perfectly fine to come back to a format. And popping card, like a lot of cards pop cards. May have been good in 2014, but now it's like, yeah, every card has that built in. The next one is to add a dragon, but since its attribute isn't amazing, you know, I think it can come back to 3, maybe 1, I don't know. But I think with this attribute being wind, it can come back to 3. That's going to be Tempest. Tempest will be able to come back to 3 in my opinion. Adding a dragon, sure it's powerful with the guard dragon stuff, but you know, you have to discard a wind to get that effect, and itself. There's not a lot of wins, may I just say. A lot of the win strategies suck, so if it helps wins in this way, like, whatever, just give it to them. One card I think will probably be most impactful if they release, which the other one, definitely impactful, but I think it should be banned. So this one can stay at 1, could come back to 3 if the deck I'm thinking of isn't going to be super, like, crazy. So we're going to pick Title. So that one, it's a water, so I don't think it's cost to discard. Oh, it's cost, never mind. Never mind, I thought Mermails can trigger off it. Mermails can't, but still, water, powerful archetype. And its effect is to dump a card, which is still powerful for... Oh yeah, it does trigger Mermails. Even if the discard effect doesn't trigger Mermails, its send effect does, because it's water, and it sends, so boom, you get a Mermail effect. It's level 7. And honestly, Mermails have had a rough time after number 42, Galaxy Tomahawk, getting banned. Now they're like, what Link shenanigans are we going to do now? You remove that from us. So, right now they're kind of just looking for something. I think Title would be a good card for that. And then the last one, Redox, the Earth one, has the most broken one, where you discard it and an Earth to pretty much have a monster reborn. A monster reborn and a dragon, no, no. You can already resurrect with Pisty. You don't need to do it again. Like, that's going to be ridiculous in the format. Like, I just don't think this one should come off. Monster Reborn, very powerful, and like, if it was in wind, maybe if it was a wind one, because winds don't do like anything right now. But like, yeah, just no. Redox, no, you can stay banned. You're the one who can like kind of just stay banned. The rest of them can kind of come off. Maybe title a little bit slower than the rest. The other ones can just straight come off, I feel. So that's my opinion on the Dragon Rulers. On to number 5. So for number 5, I'm going to be picking Spiral Gear Drone. So this one, it's very powerful, but wasn't as powerful as, Quick Fix. I know some of you guys still have PTSD of like the 2 weeks of Tier 0 format. If you went to regionals in that and played that deck, oh my god, like that goes into your mind, just all you can hear for the rest of your life echoes in your head. Quick Fix Effect Search. Quick Fix Effect Search. Like that is a absolute nightmare, but Drone is honestly fine. It is a consistency card. It doesn't warrant enough to play Machine Dupe, unlike Quick Fix, which is like, oh, I can do Drone or Quick Fix Machine Duped. It's like, count me in. Drone, it just makes sure Spirals can kind of look at the top cards. It lets Helix have consistency. And then again, you can Ash Helix. Everyone has Ash now. It's not, the $60, $80 card that was back in that format. So yeah, I think Quick Fix can come off. Spirals doing stuff, like, they haven't done anything. Like, I even bring it to a regional Spiral Orcust. Didn't go well. It was perfectly fine Orcust-wise, but it's like, the Spirals did nothing. They were just there. Sure, Sleeper's still a good card, but I think you can just give them the consistency, because with that deck you just open the Broke or you open the Nope and you just scoop that game. It's absolutely sad. It's 2 times out of 3 you have to scoop with Spirals because you didn't get anything. But yeah, that's my opinion on Drone. I know a lot of people would be scared to see Spirals coming back, but I think Drone perfectly fine to come off. So another pick which people will have nightmares of is going to be Zodiac Trident, which can come to 1 or 3, honestly. It doesn't really matter. I don't think it has to be banned. What it does, pretty much, you get a pop a card. Popping isn't like crazy overpowered right now. Like, it's kind of built into stuff, and when you look at Zodiacs now, the only good thing they have is Barrage, being able to pop and get you a plus. Sometimes, like if you're popping the Kozmo field spell or something, you would get a plus. Like, that's the only really powerful thing going for them. Whiptail also being able to just get rid of something. But besides that, they do nothing. You would not be able to play pure Zodiac at all. It is a completely, just not there. There's nothing there for that archetype. Like, Trident was their boss monster. They completely took it away, and they can't really do anything with Zodiacs. Just giving this, they'd be able to pop a card. They get a little bit more value, which would be perfectly fine, because the game has kind of just extended past Zodiac at this point. Rapier can still be at 1. Not Trident. Broad Bowl can still be banned, Like, that's perfectly fine. Trident, just give them their, like, 1 good pop. And, yeah, just give them that. Just let them have that. That's it. So Zodiacs can actually get played as an engine. But on to number 3. So for my number 3 pick, it is going to be Emergency Teleport, which some people may say, oh, this isn't too controversial. I think most people would be perfectly fine to seeing Cosmos go to full power. I don't think anyone would be like, no, no, we can't have that. Cosmos full power, they're too broken. Sure, the Sky Striker players who can't get over a Dark Destroyer would kind of be like, no, don't give them that. No, please don't. But the reason I feel it's still a controversial thing is because if it is at 3, it becomes something viable for the Salamangreat strategy. Because think about it, Ghost Ogre, right? Not Sky Strikers. Salamangreats can play a lot of hand traps. We already know that. Because they're all like a 1-2 card combo type of deck that will just be able to recycle their stuff and have a lot of advantage on board. So they can have a lot of free cards, which means they have a lot of hand traps. So likely, they're playing Ghost Ogre. Now they probably will have a level 3 extender, so they can go to the Mirage Stalio. There's no restriction on Mirage Stalio, so they can pretty much use Emergency Teleport to summon out one of the Ghost Ogres from their deck, and then pretty much make sure their combo doesn't get disrupted while they're going through to get into Mirage Stalio. If they activate something on field, the Ghost Ogre would be able to just destroy itself and then destroy that monster. So I think it's still a very powerful thing for the meta. Maybe it just becomes viable and everything. Oh, if you're playing Ghost Ogre, you can also play E-Telly if you have the space. Just boom, have a little bit of protection on board. Also be great for BA, which I think a lot of people would like, being able to put out a Ghost Ogre and say, hey, you can't disrupt me while I'm doing this. Yeah. Like, it'd be good for going second. It could become a side deck card. So I think it'd be very viable, actually, with Ghost Ogre being a powerful card in format. Emergency Teleport will also become a card like that, too. So that's my choice for number 3. On to number 2. So, of course, this is where the bias comes in, the 2 and 1 slots. Number 2, a lot of fans of this archetype would be very happy to see. And I don't think it's too broken at this point. The card I'm talking about is good old Tour Guide. Just give it to 3. We'll be able to consistently have the broke hand for Burning Abyss. 1 out of 3 times we get the broke hand. That sounds amazing. Just let us have that. That would be so cool. It's perfectly fine if we have Graph still at 1, Seer still at 1. Like, thing is, we only have to activate it once per turn. So, you know, we're only going to, like, we can loop our copies, you know. Call By still kind of sucks, but just play Levianeer instead, so you can get it from the Banish Zone, recover it, you know. We can be perfectly fine with those at 1, but Tour Guide is just a thing where 3 is going to be absolutely positively better. You would just have the extra dump, you have the extra, like, free monster pretty much, for, you know, material, for Trubney and stuff. Like, it would just be so good. I don't think too many people would be actually opposed to seeing Burning Abyss get a little bit extra power. I am also very fond of the deck. It's still a powerful strategy. I almost got my top in Providence June 8th when playing BA. I made it to the last round. I only just lost to Orcust in time. You know. And, like, BA powerful, it still makes an impact. I don't think you make anything broken. Just Tour Guide 3. A lot of BA players would love it. Just rejoice for that whole community. But on to my number 1. So you guys may be wondering, I'm a big BA fan, but Tour Guide was only number 2. So what was number 1? Well, I'm a big fan of this archetype, which has sadly fallen into complete disarray. This card that I want off to 1 or 3 would be Spellbook of Judgment. Now, people are like, if you read the card, it sounds broken as hell, right? You get to, for everyone you activated, you get to search other copy, pretty much. Get to search another one from your deck, and then, for the amount you've added, you then get the special Spellcaster from the deck. Wow, that's an amazing card. It's like, this is broken. It should probably stay off, even if you don't know spellbooks. Alright, but the search targets are bad. The special targets, are also kind of bad right now. Like, special targets are fine, you know, depending on how many of you activated. But still, Judgment, what it can search. Well, it can search more search and draw power. Which, you know, fine. But you need to have good cards to, you know, search or draw into. So what other stuff do you have? Well, you have pretty much a card that says make a spellcaster unaffected by spells or traps for the turn. Okay, but doesn't really do much. There's Fate, where you have to banish 1, 2, or 3. It can work as a book boon, return a set, or can banish one card your opponent controls. Powerful, but remember, every single spellbook card has a hard once per turn on it. You can only activate it once. You only get 1 banish per turn, which right now that just isn't enough. Like, and then you look at the monsters. One that was popular back in the time was Jowgen. You need to activate 3. You can summon it. It blows up all special summons, and neither player can special summon, I think. Yeah, I think neither player. Maybe it's just your opponent. I don't know. But then you look at its stats. It's 200 attack and 13 defense. Altergeist can get over it, and they can't get over anything. Mellowseek can attack over it. Like, so bad. Like, new special summon targets, well, it depends how many you really get. Like, I think probably the best ones are going to be the Witchcrafts, but Witchcrafts lose horribly to Ash. And that's what I think is the best target. Sure, if you've activated a ridiculous amount, maybe, just maybe, you'd summon out level 8, like the Witchcraft level 8, which is amazing, you know. That card, really good, but it's like, summon it out by the Witchcraft effect. Just do that instead. Like the special summon, and then again, I think he can be ashed. Spellbook of Judgment can get ashed. Everyone has Ash. We can stop this card now. We can just say no. We can say no to the card anyways. I don't think it's going to be broken. The search targets aren't powerful. The special targets aren't powerful. And just giving this, it means we'll be able to have resources to try and do something for our turn 2. And then again, also this archetype loses to Zombie World.
Bruh.
Yeah. This card needs a little bit of a boost. But that's it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Put cards I didn't say down in the description, controversial or not. Yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you guys liked and enjoyed. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.